Welcome everybody, welcome to Ascension to Love with Alice. Welcome, it's such an honor wherever you are watching this, whether you are on my email subscription list where you're getting this ahead of everyone else, whether you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for sharing your gorgeous time and energy and love. And thank you for all the comments, shares, likes and subscribes. It helps the algorithms when you do that. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Wow, we are looking at a cosmic insight with a cheeky bit of angelic and celestial guidance for the month of October. Before we get there though, September was such a powerful month. Thank you to everybody that joined Priestess of the Golden Age call Ignite Her. That happened on the 6th of September. And thank you to those that joined Light Within, which was on the 20th of September. Those beautiful calls I did in collaboration with the radiant Melissa Virtue. And they were so powerful. The activations, the attunements, they are available for replay. So if those do call to you, please check out Melissa Virtue's website. That's www.melissavirtue.com. where you can get those replays straight into your inbox. So without further ado, we had a wonderful equinox, hey, on the 23rd of September, where the sun moved from Virgo, one of my faves, you'll know why, and most of you will if you know me personally. I had a solar return in September, moved from that wonderful grounding virginal energy of Virgo into the very the charismatic, the diplomatic, the wonderful air sign, inspiring energy of Libra. Now, as you are watching this, this is going to be specifically about the month of October. We will be pulling some cards to bring in extra guidance, but there is a lot that is happening in this month. I had to make notes, so you will see me refer back to my notes here at times, because there is just so much going on. First, the equinox at the end of September. So equinox is about equal day, equal night. Whether you are in the northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, northern specific, the nights are getting longer, the days are getting shorter. It's going to allow us and encourage us to go inwards a little bit more. Mercury is already in retrograde, right? By the time that you are watching this video. So Mercury being in retrograde is allowing us once again to go inwards, to complete things that we've started before. There is a separate video on that, specifically about that and how to make the most of it, and how to really flourish in this retrograde season. So do check that out on my YouTube channel. But the 6th, is it the 6th? I'm gonna have to check my notes. the 6th of October, we have Pluto going direct, and we have a new moon in Libra. Okay, so new moons are all about planting seeds, and once again there will be videos, short videos on each of these transits on my channel, so do make sure you are subscribed there to catch up with how to work best with all that energy. But Pluto is going to be going direct. Now Pluto's been in retrograde since April, right? Pluto is that sign, is that planet, sorry, of death and rebirth, birth, death, rebirth. It's that cyclical nature. It helps us, Pluto helps us go really deep into things, you know, really understand the depths that we may not have seen before, you know, of many things. So with Pluto going from a retrograde place into direct motion, you know, we may find that the soil is very fertile for us, and with that being aligned with a new moon as well, that's even more powerful, because when we work with the cyclical nature of everything, of the earth, of the seasons, of the sun, of the moon, we start to realize how to best harness energy within us and around us to really flow in abundance and joy, and really honor the cycles as they appear and how they're meant to be enhancing and encouraging our earthly experience, right? It's a very big thing. So do have a look to see if there is anything coming out around the new moon, specifically with any calls or activations. I'm not sure yet what is on the calendar, but do just keep your eyes open for that, because with the Libran energy, you know, we're going to have the sun, the moon, Mercury and Mars all in Libra around that date. Now that is a very powerful combination of energy. You know, we've got the sun, we've got the moon, so we've got our divine masculine, our divine feminine, we've got how we show up, what our goals and aspirations are, and we've got our inner workings, our emotional workings, our subconscious, right, all in the sign of Libra, all with that balance and that air inspiration. You know, we also have Mercury in retrograde in in Libra, right? Which is going to help bring that insight, those extra ideas in. It's going to help us complete projects as well that we will have already started once upon a time. And we also have Mars. Now, Mars is another one of those divine masculine planets, often known as the fearless warrior, right? You know, bringing that energy, that direction, that focus. You know, Mars in Libra is a really interesting combination, because Libra, once again, is that very, you know, they can be very, very diplomatic, especially in their wholeness, right, in their fullness. So having Mars, that planet of a forward action, of really standing up for what is right and kind of getting into motion with things, you know, paired in that sign of Libra, is really going to offer us, it's going to offer us a very kind of calm, compassionate way of moving forward in our own alignment, right? Which is it's a very powerful way of doing it, because normally Mars kind of goes gung-ho straight in there, but with the Libran influence, it's going to be very, very good for us, right? Especially if we're working with that energy. We'll see how that kind of plays out a little bit later in the month as we get to a full moon in Aries, which will perhaps bring a slightly different energy. But first, I'm going to see what's happening in the meantime. So yeah, so the 6th, 7th, we have the Sun and Mars are together. They're conjunct one another. Let's see here. Saturn is the next one. Yes, that 1010 portal, right? So there's a numerology of everything as well, right? Which also overlaps with the cosmic insight. So the numerology of the months, you know, we have the 8-8, which is the 8th of August, right, which is Lion's Gateway. We have the 9-9, so the 9th of September, and the 10-10, and obviously it goes through with every month, right? Now the numerology holds certain key codes in its own right. You know, 10 is the number of completion. It's the number of moving from divisiveness to oneness, right? Because, you know, 1 and 0 makes 1. That's the whole, right? That's the all. That's the balance of masculine, feminine, right? That's the balance of the polarity. It brings it all together. That's super, super important. Now we've got Saturn going direct on that 1010 portal. Saturn has been in retrograde since May, I think it is. And, you know, there were videos on my channel from earlier back, so if those retrograde videos do interest you, do check back, because it is actually always interesting, I find personally anyway. That just might be where my Pluto is, you know, in my natal chart, but I always find it interesting to go back and look at the retrogrades and actually see how they've played out for me personally. But yeah, on the 10th of the 10th, we have Saturn going direct. Saturn is the Lord of Karma, right? The Lord of Karma. So what that means, it's like, you know, between May and now, we may have found ourselves kind of reliving a lot of experiences, bringing up a lot of things that a lot of karmic cycles, right, amongst other people, with ourselves, with other situations, dynamics, agency type thing, you know, government type things. You know, we might find ourselves having had a lot of that experience and kind of going, wow, there's been a lot of rebirth, and wow, I've been faced with a lot of challenges in my physical life. But now it's like, okay, with Saturn going direct, it's like this this not quite expansion in the way that Jupiter does, which we'll talk about in a moment, because Jupiter is also going direct, but in a way like kind of like the structure and the discipline, the spiritual alignment and spiritual discipline that Saturn offers us is phenomenal, because it means that we are growing, we've kind of leveled up, right? So when we get to that 1010 portal, we might actually even feel, you know, the start of the month might be a little bit kind of tricky and interesting until that new moon area, right? Until that new moon time. We might find ourselves going through a few challenges at the start of the month, at the start of October, but by the time we get to the 1010, I think it's going to feel a little bit like things are starting to fall into place a little bit. You know, we might have those moments where things are starting to fall into place, especially on the 7th, when the Sun and Mars are conjunct, because those two energies in Libra with that forward motion is going to be very, very, very good, very abundant, right? So the 7th is going to be a really good day for everyone. You can write that on your calendar. I'm going to have a great day. What else is going on here? On the 17th, we have Jupiter going direct, and Jupiter has been retrograde since June. Jupiter, that planet of expansion, of luck, of fortune, right? You know, so when, once again, Jupiter goes direct, when any planet goes direct, it's kind of like that forward motion again. It's kind of, we can move our gaze from within to go kind of back without, and to make the plans, make the action, and receive what we need to receive, what we are due. And when Jupiter goes direct, it's kind of like all this flow starts to happen again, this expansion starts to happen again, you know, in a very lucky way. It's kind of like, you know, we can if we if we are working with energies, right, rather than resisting the flow of things, if we're flowing with the cyclical nature, once again, of the rhythms of the day, of the moon, of the sun, etc., etc., we are beings of this earth, right, made up of this earth, made up of the stars. So we shouldn't really ignore that. And when we do, we're in resistance, right? So it doesn't make it we don't make it easy for ourselves. But if we flow with that, then we really start to align and kind of, it's like we're turbocharged, right, by all the other beautiful constellations. But it also, interestingly enough, I think it actually aligns with the Arcturus gateway. I'll have to double check that, but I think that's on the 17th to the 19th as well. Let me see if I've written that down. I don't know if I have or not. No, I have. Yeah, it does. So Jupiter goes direct on the 17th, which is the same time as the Arcturian gateway is present with us. So it'll be expanded a little bit more than the 17th to the 19th, but specifically 17th, 18th, 19th. The Arcturians are a very advanced, very high frequency star system, star being, right? They are known to bring advanced technology, advanced learning, a profound amount of love, and the way that they articulate, for if you ever listen to any channelings by any of the Arcturians, and you can find those on YouTube, they're amazing. But if you ever listen to anyone that channels Arcturian, I actually do a remote healing session with the Arcturians that come through to do the healing, because they are so advanced and so streamlined. And you can find that on my website if you haven't been there yet, to have a look. It's the Ascension Symptom Tune-Up. It's a very powerful healing that they offer. And they bring that through me to you remote, so we don't even have to be live. It's very, very cool. But the Arcturians, they're full of love, full of compassion, full of super advanced healing, and they are also known for like abundance and prosperity. So 17th to the 19th, Jupiter going direct, Arcturus gateway, a very abundant time is on the cards if we open ourselves up to that, right? And we got to remember to keep opening ourselves up. And you can check my weekly my week at a glance videos, those short videos that go out each week to kind of tune in to a more specific day by day energy for that week, so that you can really make the most of it. But yeah, it's a very, very, very powerful time. We then move into the full moon in Aries, which I believe is on the 20th of October. Now Aries, this full moon is going to be quite a fiery one. It's going to be quite a kind of, like kind of steam train coming along, and that's going to be what we're looking at around the 20th of October. The sun is still in Libra, right? Mars, I think, may still, I'm not sure if Mars will have moved by then. I think Mars may still also be in Libra. I'll have to check that one. I'm not sure about that. But what is really, really interesting is that this full moon is going to kind of, with all the expansion, all the light that comes through, because we still are in this world of duality, of polarity, because we still are operating under the principles of this particular world as it is, because the whole world collectively isn't yet fifth dimension, right? So we need these other principles, the polarity, etc., etc., to help us grow. What it feels like may very well be the case with this full moon in Aries, and check the video that will go out nearer the time, because that will bring in way more information. But it feels like it could be very very fiery, very steamy. And if you think as well, that the air influence, air and fire, when they go together, that's a massive ignition, right? So it's always good to kind of keep that in mind, so there may be underlying frustration or underlying anger that we haven't addressed, and that may want to come up and be released. Full moons are great times to kind of complete cycles, to kind of also collect the harvest, right, of whatever it is that you planted in the new moon, right? So you really do want to work with that new moon and that full moon energy and the cyclical nature of that, right? You want to work with that cycle, because when we do, like, everything just flows so much easier, if we resist it, if we kind of put a bit of fear overlapping on that, then we just have a bit of a tough time about it. So keep our hearts open, and just know that, we are made up of everything. We are the all, that, and the all is inclusive of the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, all of that, right? We are made of the stars and of the elements, right? So it's a really beautiful combination. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? Yeah, so it's going to be very, very, very intense for that full moon. But it's always good when that happens, because when you let off that steam, it just creates the space, and the space is what we need. And then as we go through that full moon, we then go into the sun moving into Scorpio, those deep diving depths of the Scorpio water sign, right? So that's around the 22nd, 23rd of October. We find that the sun will move out of the wonderful Libra into Scorpio, right? So that's going to be really, really, it's going to allow us to navigate depths that we haven't necessarily been to in through the start of October. You know, the start of October, the first 3 quarters of October really are gonna bring this a lot of inspiration, a lot of things through the air, right? As you know, we have that air influence. It's going to be really great for creation, for new beginnings, for that type of stuff. Things will still be kind of coming to a close because of the Mercury retrograde and other retrogrades that are ending. But you know, we start with I think it's 6 planets in retrograde at the start of October. Then by the end, it's only 3 or 4. You know, we still have you know, Eris and Chiron that will be in retrograde until January, February 2022. But they're a little bit further out, so their influence isn't as noticed, right, as what it will have been for the past few months with, you know, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, etc., all of that, and how that has spread over the past few months, right? So it's a really wonderful month for expansion, but yes, there will be kind of it feels like it's going to be kind of a bit of a pressure cooker at the start of the month, with lots of space and gaps around certain transits that we've spoken about in this video. And then by the time of the full moon, it feels like it's also going to be a very intense time, a very energetic time, to let off a lot of steam, release a lot of stuff if we do it in a very healthy way. And this is the key thing to remember, right? How are we expressing our energy? How are we transmuting? It's going to be a great moon for transmuting any energy within us, in that fire. Working with Sekhmet, I think, is going to be very powerful. If anyone is familiar with that Egyptian goddess, right, that high priestess Sekhmet. Doing any soul retrieval, any karma balancing is going to be very, very powerful. Any Akashic records work, any realigning to your highest timeline, bringing in those higher codes, those higher DNA codes within you. And we do that all in Akashic records work. So if you haven't yet checked out those offerings on my website, please have a look. Each session is always bespoke and unique to you, so each one looks very, very different, but you can get a bit of a understanding based on the description. But please feel very welcome to reach out to me and connect about any of the sessions that I offer, any of the courses or workshops that have been around. Then we still have the end of the month to talk about now, the 31st of October. What is that? No, not Halloween. Well, yes, but Samhain, right? So the holiday, the turn of the wheel, called Samhain, it's halfway between the equinox and the solstice, right? So it's a very, very powerful time. It is known traditionally as when the veil is very thin. You will, your psychic abilities are very tuned in at this point. You know, if you are clairvoyant, your clairvoyancy will improve. Any other psychic abilities will likely improve as well. It's, you know, it's often a time as well that we kind of pay respect to any of our ancestors as well. So like I say, any past life healing, any soul retrieval, any other timelines and lifetimes where we have been of timelines that we want to clear and heal, right, so that it's not pulling on us in this lifetime, so there's no patterns that are pulling on us here. Or alternatively, any higher frequency mastery timelines that we want to draw back that wisdom of, right, you know, very, very, very accessible around that time. But there will be a video coming out nearer then so that you can get more specific information. This is just a bit of an overview and a bit of an exciting kind of what's going on, you know. But yeah, do keep tuned to what is going to be offering specifically on the workshop sides. We may find that there'll be a couple of workshops offered that will be very powerful, right, to coincide with some of those dates. So we'll see. We've got Guardian Angel coming through here. Okay, so Guardian Angel, just wanted to have a little mention. Guardian Angel holds your soul contract, your highest soul contract, your golden soul contract. They are literally with you all day, every day, showering you with love. You know, we want to remember to open our hearts, and to keep asking, keep welcoming in, keep receiving that help, right, so that we can carry on, continue to make the most of whatever is whatever is wanting to drop in for us, right? All the things that we've been asking for, you know, we just have to open to receive. That's the only thing that we have to do, really, is get in a vibration of receiving. That guardian angel can definitely help. They can definitely help if you are feeling like you need a little bit of extra love, right? If you've forgotten in a brief moment how amazing you are. Guardian angel really helps remind us. They are great with inner child work as well. Call on them to help with that, or like I say, reach out if you want help with that. Anyone that ever reaches out for a session, whether it's guidance, healing, anything, I consider them heroes, right? Because it takes such courage to go, actually, I really want to get to the bottom of this and expand and grow, and we can't do it all ourselves, right? We are all unique representations of the divine. And that's why we're here having this human experience, right? You get to see me, I get to see you. In our day-to-day, whoever is around you, your friends, your family, the strangers, right? We are all mirroring to each other various different things, and it's so beautiful. It really is beautiful. So how are we looking at our perspective and our focus? Let's just pull a couple of cards here for just for this month overall before I leave you all be to your wonderful rest of your day, whatever time of day it is here there for you. Yeah, we've got Archangel Raphael coming up. So I did some short videos, and they may continue. They may change. But I did some Archangel, like an Archangel series. I think there was 12 videos in it. Or up to when I'm recording this, there's 12 videos. There may be more. But we did an Archangel Raphael one. Archangel Raphael really works with all the different timelines. He's like a wizard. He's a magician, right? It's incredible to work with, an incredible archangel, often seen rainbow colours, gold colours around him and around anyone working with him. But he helps us access our Akashic records, our book of life, right? He helps us bring in the knowledge, the wisdom that we desire, that we need in this moment, in that moment, and apply it and utilize it. And he also helps clear on patterns that have not been helping, right? Kind of weave through time, right? And that's a really beautiful, beautiful thing, you know. So yeah, let's see, is there a dragon? Let's just see if there's a dragon card that wants to come out here as well. Yeah. Alpha dragon, of course. Divine masculine power of creation, manifestation, with the sun in Libra, with Mars in Libra, with all that Libran energy in the masculine signs. It's a very, very, very powerful time to expand and to create, right? You know, the masculine brings into the physical a lot of the time. You know, the action of the masculine brings the manifestation that is created by the feminine and held in that void, in that beautiful space. You know, it's the merging of masculine and feminine that bring that manifestation from non-physical into the physical realms, right? So, you know, they are also very good at destroying the old, what no longer serves anymore, right? So this dragon coming in is a very high frequency dragon. I think it's like 9th dimensional or something, 7th or 9th dimensional. Really high frequency dragon coming in here to just really remind us, you know, like we get to write and amend our soul contract. We get to choose whether we are aligned with that, whether we're not aligned with that. We get to choose the world that we manifest, and we get to visualize that. And you know, it's really interesting because we recorded the weekly guidance, the week at a glance guidance that takes us from the end of September to the start of October, and that was actually a very powerful message that came through, is, you know, how are we manifesting, how are we visualizing, because it's a very powerful time if we work through the challenges that may come up at the start of the month, right? But overall, a very, very, very cool month to be had. Very very expansive in many, many, many ways. There will be times of contrast, of steam wanting to let off, of potential anger and conflicts with one another if we're not releasing that in a healthy way, if we are projecting rather than reflecting, right? So let's just be aware of that. Tune into the videos about Mercury retrograde and about the lunar cycles to help really understand how our emotional body might be expressing, releasing, transforming and alchemizing, and also how our mind might be as well, right, with that mercurial influence. But for now, I'm going to send you all so much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your love. And I look forward to seeing you on a live video in the Isis Dream Temple, which is my Facebook group. It'll be linked on this email or in the description box, depending on where you're watching this. And feel very welcome to connect with me over email. I love hearing your stories. I love hearing from you all. And but from me, for now, I send you all so much love. Thank you so much. Mwah.